Hello everyone, Maryann here, revealing light, tarot, astrology and spirituality wherever you are in the world. When you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Thank you to all who are commenting, subscribing. Welcome to new subscribers, and giving me the thumbs up. It certainly helps the channel to grow. Thank you so much for everything that you do in a multitude of ways for this channel. Okay, let's start off the morning with the latest news before we get into the tarot that Donald Trump is the current US president, is walking back his tariffs. He's announced a flat rate of 10% on all countries. The tariffs on Mexico and Canada remain. 124% tariffs on China. And of course the rest of the countries are back down to 10%. He's announced a 90-day pause. Why did he do that? Why did he walk that back? Well, any fool would have done so because the US bond markets were in turmoil, and that indicates an acute financial crisis is coming. In other words, the whole system would have gone down had he not walked back these tariffs. It would have increased the US debt, not reduced it. And people would have started selling off their bonds which is the US debt, selling off the US debt at a lower rate. And of course then that pushes up the debt. So still is the financial crisis that the US didn't need to have, brought on by the ego and lack of constraint or restraint of the current president. It's a very, very sad day when the whole world suffers. American citizens suffer, US citizens suffer. Their retirement savings are blowing up basically. Here in Australia, our dollar fell rapidly, and of course our superannuation funds dividends fell as well. That's our equivalent to your 401k. So everybody suffered. Now what's been happening has been very interesting. China is not blinking and not backing down. And if you think that they haven't foreseen this moment, you'd be wrong. They have. They are long-term planners. They always have been. And so it will be interesting to see how a deal, or if a deal, could be struck. Now, this concerns me greatly for all sorts of reasons, given that China looms so large on the in terms of world trade. They're Australia's biggest trading partner, and of course America. They supply they supply America with so many goods, so much manufacturing, spare parts, etc. Everything has a trail in the supply chain to China. So if you think that we're out of the water, out of the deep water, we are not. We are still in that deep water, and what will unfold in the coming weeks will determine, I guess, what the current president will do, though no one can predict it. And of course, as I said, volatility in the markets, no certainty in the markets is a toxic market. All right, so what's happening aside from that? The EU has announced tariffs in return for what has been levied on them, and it's interesting. They are targeting red states. That is a very, very clever thing to do because they're hitting the home states of the senators. And I didn't realise this, but it only takes 7 GOP senators signed a bill with the Democrats to stop him from putting tariffs on Canada. That won't go anywhere, as I predicted, because Mike Johnson won't bring it to the House. Why is that? Because he's frightened of what might happen within his own party. So Europe is responding very, very strategically. It's the difference between having a narcissist in charge versus people with cool and intelligent reason, logic heads. And so, the market is being reordered still, despite his pause. So, wow. Within maybe a few days of a total economic crisis, he pulled back. Now, there's an interesting hearing going on in the, I think it's in the House of Representatives at the moment, around Trump's potential manipulation of the markets. None of his policy advisors, none of his trade czar, no one knew that he was going to pause the tariffs, which is a very, very dangerous thing. There's no accountability. We don't know why he ever does anything. Who's advising him? On what basis does he do this? It's a very reckless, so no accountability and no transparency. Very, very dangerous when it comes to monetary policy. Secondly, and this is the question that I will ask, is he manipulating the markets for his own financial gain? All right, let's get started. I'm using a couple of decks, the Llewellyn Classic Tarot, and then also the Osho Zen Tarot. It largely corresponds with tarot, though it doesn't phrase it like that. It's a very interesting deck. I roughly know the equivalents there. However, that it really rounds up and has a unique, based on a sort of Zen philosophy, a unique way of capturing the essence of a question. So we'll use that shortly as well. So let's see what would have happened? What would have happened if he didn't pause the tariffs? Now, first of all, it was 50, 60, 70, now it's 75 countries have called. Which is it? Who would know? Because this apparently politics, GOP MAGA style, is done through total lies. Everything is a lie. That's the way they do it. So how would we know? Without an investigative mainstream media, how would we know? We wouldn't know. Okay. So who phoned him and asked for deals? We know South Korea came to the table. We know, I think he said Vietnam, but who else? We don't know. All right, let's see. What would have happened if Trump didn't put a pause on those tariffs? What would have happened if Trump did not put a pause on that? Yeah, I'm just getting that Seven of Swords here, and creating something. I'm not sure what he seems to be creating. All right. What would have happened if he did not pause those tariffs? So we have here the Fool card. And we get the Knight of Wands. Okay, so it looks like there were fairly concrete moves to move away. Whether it's investment, looks like moving away and very quickly in another direction. They're moving in another direction. So there was a reordering, and I think there still is. The Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. What an odd card. What would have happened? Wish fulfillment. Well, there would have been total financial destruction. Is that what he wants? The Moon card, volatility and things coming from the surface, and this is also in past, can be past lives as well, karmic type of stuff. This is one man that's doing this. The Eight of Pentacles in the sky. So this is again the Apprentice card. Did people actually strong arm him? Did they say, well, that's it, we'll move against you? What is it that we don't know? The Six of Pentacles, debt would have increased. Okay, so that's it. He hinted at it. He was actually correct. The bond market turmoil, which indicates a looming financial crash, was imminent, and that's why he's pulled back. The King of Cups is in the present here. That can be a lack of wisdom. Let's see what's surrounding it. Yeah, betrayal. Betrayal. It's almost as if subconsciously, even though he may not have intended to completely crash the whole system, he wanted to do damage to other countries, to people who weren't in his fiefdom, who weren't in his, who didn't support him. It was a wish for him. He got his wish. Damage was done, bringing people to him. And of course, this is a total and utter betrayal of what a president should be doing. He's looking after his own interests. He saw this as a winning proposition. But there's also the fear here that he wouldn't have won, that he went too far. Interesting. 5 of Pentacles is the outcome. Yeah, he would have created a full-on monetary crisis in the US. I think it's still very, very dicey. Volatility, as I said, no certainty in the markets. People not wanting to invest in the US, people selling off US bonds because he is so unstable. And we get justice coming. I think he broke some laws, some big laws, and I think he's created some powerful enemies. Okay, it looks like this was a deal done with somebody. Who might that be? We're going to get deals done with how is he profiting from this? And that's the question. There he is. He's having to defend himself, something coming to fruition in time. And we get the Hanged Man pausing. Okay, so it was pretty close to wholesale financial meltdown, which means that the danger is still there because there's nothing steady or consistent about what he does. Okay, is he personally profiting? That's the question. Is Trump personally profiting from this? Is Trump, whether it's people giving him money, manipulating the stock market, getting people's loyalties, buying people's loyalty, goodness knows, extorting other countries, is he personally profiting from this? Is he personally profiting from this? Is Trump personally profiting? So we get something coming to fruition in time. Is Trump personally profiting from this? Is he personally profiting? Well, that's a very strong yes card. Yes. The Ace of Swords, the truth. Pausing something. We need to start looking in this direction. There now needs to be investigations. I don't know how it's done. It has to be done through Congress. It has to be done through the Democratic Party, subpoenaing things. I don't know how they do it. Shadow hearings, lots of them. Acceleration of this investigative work. It has links to a past deal that he has done. All right, this is for entertainment purposes only. It looks like there's more than one involved here. It's always more than him. Is this higher order that are calling the shots here? We have loss, moving away, walking away from loss. Did he go too far? The Page of Pentacles. He's done a lot of financial damage. Again, the toxicity, the devil. It almost seems like this was intentional. Is he personally profiting? Okay, so we have here something that's going to surprise us. I hope that in whatever way he has, that this is found out. But this is also a bombshell, something that happened that maybe he didn't think would happen. The bond market going too far, overreach. That's the outcome card. It is a yes. It's a plan. to break down the guardrails, including financial guardrails. And there we have our Seven of Swords, which is theft, deceit. It seems to me, I hope someone figures this out. Come on. This, like he's breaking all the legal norms, he's breaking financial norms as well. And it is to benefit. It is to benefit himself. That was the question. There it is, the magician, manifestation, manipulation. There's the secret yet to be revealed, and there's the sabotage. I think this is deliberate sabotage, and unless, again, we keep saying only Americans can get us out of this. Unbelievable, isn't it? All right, so that's what we've got. All right, so we now need to move to, and maybe I'll use the Zen Tarot for this one. What happens? Well, first of all, is there a deal? Can there be a deal with China? Can there be a deal struck with China? Boundaries, saying no. Guardrails, it's like they're still there. The barriers are still up. In fact, they're reinforcing. They're not bringing down the barriers, they're reinforcing them. Will Trump do a deal with China eventually? Or China do a deal with Trump, whichever way it goes? Trump wants to be king. Okay, will Trump do a deal with China? Will Trump do a deal with China? Will Trump do a deal with China? He's certainly got a monkey on his back in some way. So we have here the Three of Pentacles, guidance. And we have here the Source, which is the Ace of Wands. Looks like plenty of warning him, plenty of trying to get him to listen, his advisors. And then we have the Judgment card. It's inevitable that a deal will come. This is past lives. Past lives. Sorry, this is the Moon card. It's not the Judgment card, it's the Moon card. So it looks like, they phrase this as past lives in this deck. So the Moon card, of course, is volatility, things coming up from the past. Things coming up from the past. There's something there with Trump and China. Okay, we get the Star card, which is in the past, hope. And we get the Six of Swords, the burden. The burden is in the sky. It can be looking for a way out of trouble. And we have the King of Wands stepping forward. Looks like they will do a deal. The Seven of Cups in the present. It's like the illusion, delusion. Look at this. It's like there's so much confusion right now. And the Five of Swords, comparison, which of course is abuse, sabotage. It's like this is where it's at between these two. And I'm not going to say it's all on Trump's. Although China could be playing this to show how unhinged he actually is. And so it is to their benefit that investment might come to a more stable environment in China. Going with the flow, I think it's Page of Cups. Going with the flow is in the hopes and fears. I don't think China's rattled at all. And we get the High Priestess, the unknown, something that we don't know yet. Something yet to come to light. And we have the King of Swords. I think that is consciousness. Well, the inner voice, and then the consciousness. And so there is a pathway forward. There will be some sort of deal done. But we get the 9 of Cups here, which is the 9, the smug merchant, the wish fulfillment card. It's laziness. Laziness. Interesting. And then we get the 8 of Cups, which is loss and letting go. So it looks like right now, in the near future, no. But there's going to be more concreteness coming, perhaps in spite of Trump. And then the 6 of Cups, the dream. It's his mental faculties here that's an issue. More and more pressure is going to be put upon him because this is how he's viewed, certainly in China and around the world. Laziness. That's why the EU was able to respond so strategically. Loss, letting go, walking away. Many will walk away. And then the dream, it's only a dream. His past, make America great again. I mean, if I wanted to give it to you straight, China holds most of the cards. We have the inner voice, and then moving forward to consciousness, concreteness. China planning something else. That's my feeling on this. They hold a lot of the US bonds. Are they going to, let's go back to the tarot, are they going to sell? They did sell a lot of US bonds before the election. Oh, goodness gracious me. Are China going to sell more US bonds? Because this is what would then cause an acute financial monetary crisis. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Are China going to sell? China and other countries, are they going to sell more US bonds? I'm getting the Knight of Wands. So we get here the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. So they're not queens, they're not kings. They could sell off some. Queen of Cups, looking after oneself, letting something out of the bag. I think they've already got their strategy. That's in the past. We get the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles keeps someone building a skill here. The apprenticeship card. Then we get the 9 of Cups here. Wish fulfillment. Looks like this is playing the way that they wanted to. 3 of Wands, waiting for their ship to come in. Foreign. Investment, making decisions, choices. The Devil is in the hopes and fears, and then we get loss, walking away. The 10 of Pentacles, that's retirement, investment, big money, and defending themselves. There is an element, so they may sell some. But whatever they do creates loss now. And that's the thing, because he overreached. You saw those cards. Because he overreached and he threw in his, I don't know what you would call it, this. And they it's in the hopes and fears. This is an overreach. Elon Musk overreached. It's that kind of scenario. Guardrails, a plan, again, that's what I saw, building the barriers, anxiety, volatility in the market. Yes, I think that they're going to sell some bonds, but not all. I think the threat is also around the dollar, the US dollar. Okay, are they going to lead a charge, go for broke in getting people to trade in another currency other than the US dollar? Are they trying to destroy, or will they? Will they now have enough ground to destroy the USD? Will they have enough ground, enough capacity, enough momentum, given that there's been long-term planning here? Will China destroy the American dollar, or weaken? Will China weaken the American dollar? Jeez. There's a rose lying on the ground and they've left the building. Victory. Defending themselves. They'll do whatever they need to defend themselves. We get the Devil card. Greed, toxicity. It's totally toxic with the US at the moment. This is in the past. Restriction, worry, that's in the past. Moving out of troubled waters. The Six of Swords. They'll do whatever they have to do. The Seven of Swords here. The truth in the present, the Ace of Swords, they have a great deal of clarity. The environment round is the Five of Pentacles. We're all suffering financially from this. The Eight of Pentacles is in the hopes and fears. We don't know for certain that they have enough maturity or clout to pull this off, even though their economy is very, well, it's in a stagflation now, but their assets, if you like, whether or not this is mature enough for them to do it. So we get loss and walking away in terms of trade wars, and same outcome cards, but they do have a plan. There's a plan that doesn't succeed. Look, let me just say there's loss for all. Okay, there's loss for all. Are they trying to destroy the US dollar? Something that affects oligarchy in the US. Sabotage. Yeah. I don't think they wanted to do this, but it's like their hands have been forced. Okay, how's this going to end up? I think that's when the deal is done, when more damage is done. Am I correct? Will Trump come to the table only after more damage is done? The Source, which is the Ace of Wands, a plan, a new plan. We get the Moon, the volatility, and we get the Burden, the Six of Wands. Looking, it's only after, it's only after more damage has been done that he comes to the table. Right now we have the Knight of Swords, the truth emerging, and we get the Seven of Swords, politics, which is, well, the second time the Seven of Swords has come up. Can be deceit, lies. Isn't it interesting? That's what politics is. For the better part, certainly in the MAGA world, and I guess in some Democratic Party circles as well, politics is about lying. All right, we're seeing the truth of all this. How bad does it get? We're seeing how bad it does get, and we're about to see how bad it will get. Let's see if they're, to finish this reading off, let's see, now I talked about them removing, not removing Trump, but I talked about taking the power of the tariffs back. It only needs, as I said, another 14 on top of the 7, and Johnson to bring a bill to the floor. And I think there is enough Republican power now in both houses to take the power of setting tariffs away from Trump. Is there enough? Is there enough Republican support in both houses of Congress to meet with Dems and take the power of setting tariffs away from Trump? Because I think that's, in the end, what occurs. Okay, so we have consciousness, yes. This is also how this might finish up, and we get the, I think that's the Page of Swords, understanding. Consciousness and understanding. Looks like there's a breakthrough eventually. Foundation, we have the Five of Cups, clinging to the past. 3 cups lost, to remaining, clinging to the past. And we get aloneness, which is the Hermit card, isolation. So we're seeing this filter through the politics. We get the Page of Cups in the sky, trust. There would have to be trust for this to happen between the two parties, not in the immediate future because we have Seven of Swords, politics. We get the Eight of Wands, things moving very, very quickly, travelling, and then we get the Strength card. Okay, there's a movement back towards strength. In this bizarre situation, there's a movement back towards strength. The Fool card is in the hopes and fears. It would mean a new start. And then we get the Devil card in the outcome. Not in any time soon. But then we get the economy slowing down, the Knight of Pentacles. And then we get healing, which is the King of Cups, wisdom earned. Eventually they will, but not before it gets even worse. The Three of Swords, which is isolation, which is betrayal. It's the three, that heartbreak, betrayal. We get intensity, which I think is the Knight of Wands. Yes. Yep. Everything's accelerating. The Seven of Pentacles, trying to find another plan, a new way forward, patience. And then we get the Two of Cups, readiness, getting ready for something. I think they're starting talks right now, and we'll see a move toward this after even more damage is done. All right, I wanted to, I've had a lot of questions about why this is happening. Why, when we all knew it, we all warned about it, we all said it, why do we all have to go through this? Is this part of a reset and a restructure? Is this this suffering that we go through meant to head us in a different direction? Was where we were going untenable eventually? Why did this happen, and what do we have to learn from it? What can you show me, Spirit? Why did this happen? Okay, it's awareness. It's awareness and enlightenment. It's awareness. It's the full truth. It's the light of truth. It's the sunshine. This will reorder. This will wake a lot of people up. We have eternal life. And of course, one walks to the shadow, one walks to the light. We have the principle of correspondence, the principle as above, so below. 63 and 35. The law of we attract to us what we need. And there we have the sun. Yeah, that's it. That's what I saw. The sun. Base of the pack is a portal. Yeah. People are waking up and growing in awareness. They have a decision to make. Which way will they head? And can only be made through damage to their money, because that's what makes them take this seriously. The law of attraction, as above, so below. You attract what you, if you're greedy, you attract lessons in greed. It's like the law of karma. And we have the sun, what comes out of this, full illumination. The sun always also brings with it happiness and joy. And so that is a part of a waking up, a part of awareness. So what do we do in the meantime? Well, we batten down the hatches. We understand the truth is emerging. And we work toward creating the future that we want to live in. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and bye for now. I'm not saying this lightly. My super's taken a big hit as well. Australia is heading for a recession. My own country is being terribly damaged by this. I don't say what I say lightly. Thanks for tuning in, and bye for now.